Hello, everyone, and a beautiful afternoon to you all. My name is Benju Hadri Sorensen, and joining me on this cast is the one and only Brock Proden Rubino.
Hello, everyone. I am back this week.
Yes, and welcome back. We're really happy to have you here. This is the Risen Esports Season 7 games here for Rated R Esports. You can see us here on the blue side. A couple of roster changes actually to go over Proden really quickly because of some stuff that has happened. You'll notice
I'm seeing
Amende
a new
Honorable.
name.
Yeah, Amende Honorable up there in the top.
Yeah, new top
And
laner. Is that the new full-time top laner?
full-time top laner, yes. Cammy approached me last week and said he had some personal stuff that needed to happen, and so he stepped away from the team for a bit. And we have done tryouts, and Amende did pretty well, and so we have him here as our top laner. And then you'll also recognize Rito is Bronze 5 there in the support position. Used to be our bot lane.
Yeah, so is he just filling in this week?
He's filling in this week. Our support DJ Vaporeon had something go. He needs to be somewhere during the last game, essentially. If it were, we were to go hour by hour, and so he warned me ahead of time. We made sure we had someone here just to make sure that we get everyone exactly what they need to have an enjoyable experience here with Rated R Esports. Speaking of enjoyable experiences, we're very pleased to bring you this stream, viewers, and it'll be the first time we can see like the full draft, actually.
I know, it's been a while since we've been able to watch that.
So
Which is nice. Pantheon pick, that's exciting. I haven't actually
it
seen
is.
anyone play him in any type of semi-pro or pro games yet. I'm sure there's been some, I just haven't seen them, so I'm excited. I've played him a bit in the mid lane, and he's actually pretty fun. He's pretty strong early, and his new shield, his E, where he brings up his shield now, they moved it from his passive now onto an activatable ability, and they changed it to where it lasts longer and it'll actually do some damage as it's up. So it's actually a pretty cool ability. I think it makes it so you have to be a little more skilled to use it because you have to choose when to use it because it has a long cooldown. So
I think it also is very similar to Brahms E, the Unbreakable, where it changes the way your or it only blocks full damage from the direction you're facing.
But his blocks 100% of damage while it's up, which is a little bit different than Brahms because Brahms is just a percentage of the damage. And you are correct, though. If you face it the wrong way, you will take all the damage from behind you or beside you or whatever. So you do have to make sure you're blocking where the damage is coming from.
Exactly. And so that will be one of the main things we need to focus on here because Pantheon is a new champion. We're going to see how washed up Riven does on this. It's actually really interesting, his name having Riven, and Amende is quote-unquote a one-trick with Riven. Yeah, I think his in-game message said 939,000 mastery.
Nice.
Yeah. And so there's no Riven anywhere in our pick and ban. Mono also plays the champion, but it's just maybe not the best pick, but something to just bring up. It's fun.
It's just
but the other
strong champ depending on how you build your team comps and what you're playing against. But
in fact, Viper from FlyQuest played it in the gauntlet against Clutch just a week and a couple of days ago.
Yeah, you just gotta have the right team comp for it because she's not a tank. She can get fairly tanky with healing, but Gangplank in a Pantheon, I think that's pretty good for Gangplank later on. I mean, as long as he's playing safe and not just getting chunked out by Pantheon constantly, I can see how Gangplank can really be a problem for Pantheon later on when the barrels actually start doing some damage.
Right. I would agree. The other thing we need to keep our eyes on, though, is that bot lane. Sol Dante getting his favorite and best champion in Jhin.
Yeah, and I really like the Alistar with the Jhin, especially with Ileana. If she dives in, Alistar can knock her away, or he can knock her up and knock her behind them, like maybe into a tower or into a jungler or something like that. So Leona's going to have to be really careful with her engages.
Typically when you see Kai'Sa, her passive stacks the plasma, and it's not just her auto attacks and spells, it's any crowd control provided by your team as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so Alistar is a natural ally to that, where he has so much crowd control. And I think Leona is another great adaptation and a great pick to help stack up that damage for Kai'Sa.
Yeah, because if whoever she hits, with her, I cannot Zenith Blade, right? She hits with the Zenith Blade. It's gonna, it's gonna see them for about half a second, and that's gonna apply those stacks, and then Kai'Sa can jump in if it's the right moment, and you can pretty much blow up that target if there's nobody there and they're squishy. So if Jhin was caught out on his own with, and Kai'Sa was out of range except for ult, Leona can get on there, CC him, and Kai'Sa can, ult from across the map and join the fight, depending on, who the target is. So it's pretty nice, for Leona to be able to engage, and then Kai'Sa can choose when to come in behind her and help with the ult.
Other fun interactions we need to look at here. Zilean able to get those double bombs for the stun, but Vladimir, I think, able to dodge that out with the Sanguine Pool. And I think that matchup is going to be really fun to watch because, Vladimir typically turns online level 8, level 9 when he can get all that cooldown reduction like they talk about in the LCS, but then that's when Zilean actually starts to get his own power spike.
Yeah. Fortunately, Vladimir will outscale him, and then trying to kill Vladimir even in the late game as Zilean is going to be really hard just because Vladimir heals so much, and you have to be able to burst Vladimir out as Zilean. Even in team fights, he's going to have Zanya, he's going to have the pool, so it's, if he can get away from the stun, but Zilean can also save Kai'Sa from a Vladimir all-in with his ultimate, or himself, or Hecarim when he dives in. So just because Vladimir or Jhin or Gangplank are able to burst somebody out doesn't mean that they're going to be able to actually stop the person from being revived and then doing what they want after. And I also kind of think it's interesting with this because you can put the bomb on Hecarim, and Hecarim can dive into your team and add that extra damage. So, bomb delivery service.
I like it. And, you always have to talk about the ultimate from Zilean, that chrono shift like you were talking about. It's so pivotal if you get it on the right target. And a few times we've seen what happens when you put it on the wrong target, where you try and save yourself instead of holding it for a carry, or if you, as the Zilean, get caught out early. It's devastating because your team is relying on that as a way to continue a team fight.
Yeah, especially when you put the ult on someone and the other team actually holds its damage right before they kill you, which, depending on which team's further ahead, if the other team who has Zilean is further ahead and you stop damaging, say, the carry, well, that still allows the carry, if they're fed, to do a lot of damage and possibly turn the fight. Or where if you're behind and you don't burst that carry and wait for the ult to go out, then you can actually take advantage in the fight because the carry does not have the health. So there's kind of it's like a mini game also, it seems like, in between, depending on which team's ahead and what the circumstances are as to what you're going to do. If you're just going to burst them out through the ult no matter what, let them revive, or you're going to wait it out. I mean, because everything can have consequences based off where your team is in the game.
Exactly. Speaking of in the game, we are in this game. Summoner's Rift is now populated with all 10 champions, and we are in game number 1 against Mo's Gaybar, Rated R Esports on the blue side, looking to get their first best of 3 win here in the Risen tournament. Gonna do the nice 5-point, as is customary lately. What determines which champion goes where in this 5-point thing? Because I noticed that the junglers are typically in the middle as opposed to the mid lane. You see the support up there by the Raptors. What's the strategy?
It used to be mid lane went to mid, but now you put your jungler mid, so you don't know where they're going to start. Because normally, depending on where the jungler is going to start, they'd go to that side of the map and stand, either in the north part of mid or the south part of the map mid. So right here, you don't really know where they're going to go because you can go to either buff at this point.
Right. Okay, I can see that. And that makes a lot of sense. Information is half the battle here in League of Legends, using vision, using knowledge and inference as to where your opponent has gone to gank and counter gank accordingly.
Yeah. Definitely. Knowledge is definitely power. That's why wards are so important in League of Legends. Even though, like, you'll have a lot of problems with lower ranked teams in solo queue, not understanding the importance of wards. But wards are definitely one of the most important aspects of the game.
Yeah. And so this is actually an interesting adaptation here. Washed Up Riven being shifted down to the middle lane to go against Mono, that Vladimir. And then Mowgli the Cat going to be on that Zillion up on top side.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm assuming that because Pantheon's so strong early that he can just poke Vlad, kind of knock him down, and then assist in ganks fairly easy because he can just CC him, as to where in the top lane Gangplank can just eat some delicious oranges and walk out and heal and return with some Q attacks afterwards, and possibly win some trades. I'm not sure because I don't know the whole matchup all that well, but I assume that Pantheon probably is a lot more control of that lane against Vladimir early.
And it is wise there for Mo. We're going to call them Mo.
I like that name. It's easier to say. It's a lot easier to say.
What it was TLI?
Yeah.
Yeah, TLI last week. But Eyes here on the bottom side. The Xenoblade going in, but a nice disengage here. Oh, but even better. Dante does have to flash, but not having a bad day is stopped for a moment. Rito flashes as well. Ignite is down. Roam in from Pantheon. First blood with the Q. In comes the teleport. You cannot stop those anymore. Mono does deal some damage, but he has to flash himself. And that is 3 flashes burned on the side of Rated R on the bottom side.
The only thing that was used on Mo's side is the Ignite from Hecarim, which he did not take flash this game, which is a lot of people who aren't familiar with that strategy of flash smite. The reason you don't do that is because Hecarim's ultimate is pretty much like a get out of jail free card from anything, so you can flash away from everything unless you're just hard CC and killed before you're able to ult, but most likely if his ult's up, you get out for free and live. So you don't really need the flash.
Similar to why Yuumi doesn't take flash, because she can always just dash to an ally, and it's more useful to have a second combat spell.
Yes, exactly. Especially where Hecarim does so much damage once he gets a few levels in with his...
We're talking here in mid lane, Washed Up Riven taking a ton of damage with one bear up in front, but they do not get the kill.
Really
and he saves his flash there.
They burned him down really well, and I believe he's out of potions.
Yeah, the charges are not there.
Yeah, so he doesn't have any more sustain in the lane, so that's really good for Vladimir, considering Vladimir is one of
the flash there to try and get the return gank, but he throws up that E and blocks all the damage.
Had Vlad been a little bit closer, that empowered Q would have killed Pantheon.
Unfortunate for sure, but a good attempt there. But flash for flash traded. One bear gives his up to take that. No, Washed Up Riven didn't even use his. I swear he did. I thought I saw him use the flash.
That's got to be a visual bug because he flashed away from Gragas.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But it is not on cooldown here on the screen. That is unfortunate.
That's very interesting because I'm pretty sure he flashed because there wasn't a minion he could jump to, so he would have had to have flashed. And so it just must be a visual bug we're experiencing.
It must be something to do with I moved in my view. I changed where they are. Ooh.
Look at that trade Pantheon does against Vladimir. I mean, and this early, it takes a while for Vladimir to sustain back up. So and he is susceptible to being burst out. With the CC, especially at this low this early. So really good trade by Pantheon into Vladimir.
So trying to shove this wave here to give Amende a decent back timer and put, with this cannon here, it's going to take a little longer for Zillion to shove that wave into the turret. So it's going to give Amende a chance to go back, get some items, and then he actually has to walk back up to lane. See, teleport is not available. Even with priority on the bottom side, in the hands of Rated R, Mose is going for that Mountain Drake. You can see Hecarim there already starting it. That's pretty free though, because they saw Gragas on the top side of the map and they said that's the time to go.
Yeah, the word down in the bush for rated R is not close enough to actually see that Hecarim had started that. I mean, they're going to know now because the bot lane moved up.
Gragas has no flash. He grabs some vision, but there
He does have the blast cone.
Oh, interesting. So they're going to pull it out here a little bit more. He does still have vision, but I think...
Reset.
Oh, it reset. It reset on them. Okay. Jin!
Ooh. I thought Sneaky was in the game for a moment there.
Deadly Flourish was almost there, and you can see also the Cannon Barrage dropping down from Mende and the top side. They wanted to steal that. It was very close.
It looks like right now Pantheon is totally capable of taking half of Vladimir's life with that armor pin. So, you know, if he can get 2 full combos on him, if Vladimir cannot heal enough in time, he does have the possibility of bursting him out at this point in the game with the power he has with the armor penetration.
Do we see another fight here in mid, though? One Bear is going to get the belly bop to slow with the red buff. Riven is in a little bit of trouble, but in comes Not having a bad day. So low! The flash burned. I guess it hadn't been used. Washed up Riven makes it out alive.
That's really weird. It looked like he flashed.
Yes, it's freaking me out.
It could have been a bug in the game that he did flash, but it never counted. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know of any bugs like that, unless we're both just absolutely mistaken.
We'll go over the tapes later, right?
Yeah.
Check the tapes.
I do like the power that Jin has to push lanes with his grenade, his bouncing grenade. You know, people, you think Jin can't push the lane very well, but Jin can actually push quite well with the flurry and the grenade, and you get the minions low and you can pop that grenade. It'll kill 4 low minions.
It also is weird because you wouldn't think so with the... Oh, but this is a lot of damage there. Amende does take a lot, and the bomb on top of him means he does go down. One Bear in the fight against Not and Mowgli. He's going to throw the cask. One more auto attack on to do it, but it's not enough. It's Not having a bad day. Is having a pretty good day on this Hecarim. 1-0-2.
He was drinking from the cask at that moment. Had he finished it, he would have gotten the kill and at least got 1 traded back over.
Right. Very, very close there. 1 kill apiece for the top and jungler. Moving back to the bottom side, we can see that things are going relatively well here on the bottom side after that first blood and a couple of teleports used. Everything else seems to be going rated R's way. We have the BF sword to the pickaxe, the shove like you were talking about. And they're keeping up that pressure to keep Moze in lane.
Yeah, Moze is going to be a lot stronger earlier than Rated R is. Rated R has definitely the later game that it goes, the stronger they will be with Vladimir and Gangplank especially. The amount of AoE that they're able to put out and the damage it will do. It definitely puts the game in Rated R's favor if it goes late. Moze has a lot stronger mid-game spike with Pantheon and Hecarim. So they can use that to their advantage. I mean, Kai'Sa's really strong late game, but and Jin's fairly strong too. But comparatively, Rated R, 1 good chain of barrels from GP in the late game will pretty much, almost kill everybody. So. Right.
And so, I believe you go Warrior on Hecarim for your jungle enchantment, do you not?
You can go Warrior, or you can go what's a Cinder Hulk I've seen. Usually it's Warrior, it's Triforce into Warrior. Usually finish it second, and then you go just straight tank after that. And you have enough damage to just chunk squishies in the mid game, or all out kill them with your ultimate and the charge.
And so that's what I was going to say, is if he isn't going with that Cinder Hulk, then that burst potential you were talking about with the Gangplank kegs is definitely possible. Leona would be the only one to, walk out relatively unscathed.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a kill right now, so he is a bit ahead, even though Jungle has all the or excuse me, even sorry, my headset just died on me, so I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, here we go. A fight here at the Rift Herald. One Bear does go in. He gets feared. Mono is there dealing the damage. A cast, meaning One Bear does make it out, but the Ignite does pick him up. Mono is going to help up there. The ultimate from Gangplank is already down. The Herald will be picked up. Will we see the barrel chain here? Washed Up Ribbon going to take some damage. No pool here from Mono. Mouse has roamed up. Amende now in a lot of trouble. He gets hit with the Solar Flare. All the damage is going to be there. Eat some oranges to try and heal. Dealing the damage he can. Will he make it? He can't, as yet another fight goes the way of Moe's.
So we're looking at about a 2.5k lead now. Plus they have the Rift Herald, which I would assume they'll pop it early. No, I would. It looks like they're pop it top. Yeah, they can probably get first tower off this because there's nobody to stop it. Well, Gangplank is there. I don't. Okay, yeah, so they won't get that, but he did get 3 plates off of it. It looks like.
Oh, nice disengage there from Rito. Gonna get the knock of Dante on the bottom side against Double B. That's the ultimate. The Killer Instinct in. Flash from Dante. One more auto. A Double B flashes forward, gets the Q, takes him out, and Rito has the flash. He has the ultimate on underneath the turret. No dive coming. Washed Up Ribbon in a 1v1 against Mr. One Bear. It is so close, and a killing spree for the Pantheon.
Did you see that Q damage under the threshold for the execute? So he almost gets like a double spear amount of damage. Oh my.
A lot of damage. You gotta be careful of those new champions. And the positioning there, fighting underneath the Dragon Pit, I don't think was very wise on the side of Rated R. Amende in a bad spot here, trying to 1v3 with the turret, or with the Drake rather. Mono is there to try and help, but Mowgli the cat comes in. Ooh, as does Pantheon, using that new Grand Skyfall, going to Rampage level, and Mo's come out ahead on that fight as well.
Yeah, the lead went from 2.5 and has ballooned considerably up to 23.1.
Turret plates are going to fall here in the next 20 seconds. Rito's in a bad spot. There's no chance to really fight here. Jin's going to open up with the ultimate, dealing a little bit of damage here. Unstoppable goes to Hecarim. Do they have the damage? He is resurrected from the ultimate from Zillion. The stun is going to land on the Dante. He has nothing to get out there. Mono doesn't even have his ult back up. It's coming in just a second. Amende picks up a kill there on the Pantheon. The shutdown gold could be huge.
Man, I wish Mono could have had his ultimate. He probably could have got multiple kills right there because he would have been able to stay in the fight pool and, you know, get out that extra damage.
A lot of extra damage would have come out there because it amplifies all damage your team deals.
Yeah, all magic damage, I believe, right? Or
I know it doesn't apply to just him, which is something that I learned recently. I thought it was only his damage.
All magic damage by a certain percentage.
But you're right, that amplification would have been huge. But now, coming up on level 11s being hit by solo laners, we're going to get to big damage, big fights. Okay. This is not lost for Rated R yet, despite what it looks like.
It's 10% increased damage from all sources.
All sources?
Yes.
There you go. Mende is going to be able to save this turret. Predator One Bear comes in. Slowed there. Mowgli has no mana, but he does have the flash. A Q, the burn, and Mende picks it up with the red buff. Red buff stolen from Washed Up Ribbon.
So that brings them a little bit closer after killing the Zillion, with 21.6 to 26.9, but they're still a long ways behind for 15 minutes in the game. They're going to need to play this a little slower and, you know, look for some picks or just farm it out because, you know, their team does scale really well. But right now is you know, the point where Moe's is going to be at their strongest probably in this game. Just from right now toward, you know, to a little further into the game. Especially the Pantheon, he's huge right now. He's 5-1-4. He'll one-shot every squishy on the team, most likely, if he gets a 1v1 with them.
A lot of damage. And you know what? Pantheon was able to do that before the rework. And so it's super scary, especially with the way they designed him. You can see those little dots underneath his health bar. Yeah. That empower, when he hits all 5 of those, he empowers one of his abilities, kind of like how Rengar does.
One thing that's nice, though, is it's not a point and click Q that he has now.
Yes.
He actually has to hit a skill shot to kill you, so you can still dodge it or flash it, so you have a chance. Instead of if he just walks up to you and hits the Q, you die at low health.
Rito is going to get caught here, but will he survive? He does have his ultimate available. Mouse is going to get hit and slowed, thrown back in. Dante is going to pick up a kill. Teleport has come down from Amende. He's got a barrel chain. He hits it. Ultimate coming out of Dante. Mono's going to join the fight. They're going to go right on to not having a bad day, but he just might be. He is going to go down. The ultimate from Zillion is not long enough, and now the ultimate from Pantheon comes into a 1v5. Washed Up Riven is going to take a lot of damage. He's going to get slowed. He's going to knock up, and Amende goes on a killing spree, and Rated R are back in this game.
I'm not really sure what Mo is thinking there. With Leon, Mo's went in and blew her entire kit on a tank. You know, the cow still had his ultimate. You're not killing him with your whole team at that moment. Like, it's gonna take you a little bit longer than the few moments you have to blow everything on him. I mean, he only got down to half health through was it 3 to 4 people attacking him?
It was 3. Yeah, 3.
Only got down to half health and they put everything on him.
And especially with that barrel, one bear doing so much damage and pushing Leona out of that fight, right into the waiting arms of Dante with that Jhin. He picks up that kill, and then they all just keep on coming. Teleports are in. The roam came from Mono quicker, and they just never had the numbers advantage that it looked like they could have had a little bit earlier in the fight.
Yeah, I think I don't know what they were thinking there, but it was the wrong thing.
But now we see a nice way of layering those bombs there. The stun does come out for Mowgli the cat. Mouse is going to take a little bit of damage himself. But now Washed Up Riven still wants that 1v1 against Mono. Does he have the healing with those Qs? Mono does lose a whole quarter of his hit points.
He actually wins the trade because Pantheon walks into the tower.
A nice setup here. Dante unable to get the root, and Double B ults out. Damage onto Mouse, cannot re-engage. 3v4 on the bottom side here. The Mountain Drake actually helping Rated R.
If you notice too, the Pantheon and Vladimir fight in the top. You notice the extra health and damage that Vladimir's have, and his scaling is starting. You're starting to see signs of it now because he didn't chunk him to half health and not take almost the same amount of damage, even getting the shield up and everything while the fight was going on. So you can see Vladimir's starting to get stronger now that he's getting levels and items.
Teleport is up for Mono, and the Grand Skyfall for Washed Up Riven. They're fighting here around this Drake still. It can be a 5v5 very quickly. They don't have knowledge of the back timing of Washed Up Riven. So I think they need to back off a little bit. Mose wants to go in, goes back onto Rito. Teleport immediately from Mono. Flash from Rito. They're coming in. The fight is down. The ult, but Double B goes on a killing spree. Amende is trying to get out here now. The ultimate from Leona is going to slow him enough to give not a chance to pick up that kill, and Rated R lose the Drake, I think.
There's been some miscommunication there because Mr. OneWater had went back to the base. And it was a 5v4 they fought there. And being this far behind, they're not going to win a 5v4 unless they can immediately burst out Kaisa and Pantheon.
Speaking of burst out, they are unable to just take the Drake as it goes back to reset. But on the backside, one bear goes down. Riven able to see him there with the ward in the brush. Not really what you want to see. 5,000 is the deficit here. Washed Up Riven is going to steal the red buff away and go join his team in the middle. That's 2 Mountain Drakes. Look at how fast this turret goes down. Yeah,
this is the time when it's super dangerous now with 2 Mountain Drakes. If you don't have vision on Baron and you can't see anybody, especially with Kaisa, I mean, even if she wasn't there, the amount of damage you can put onto the Baron with 2 Mountain Drakes is massive. I mean, it just allows anybody to pill through a Baron, even a team that's terrible at taking Baron.
Yeah, the double percentage there is huge. But what else is huge is actually the amount of vision you can see Mose has there on the bottom side, setting up for that play. There was no way Rated R was going to be able to get that. And you can see the little gray hourglass. That was a Scuttle Crab that was also already in Mo's control.
Yeah, the radar was trying to clear some of the vision, but they just didn't have the safety to do it without the numbers there.
Mm-hmm. But now, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think Alistar's ult was right up at the start of that fight because he didn't pop it until after the CC had ran off at him. I didn't check to see, but his ultimate breaks all CC, and you can just pop it once you're CC and people dive on you. So I'm thinking it was just about up. So he took a lot of damage before he could get it off.
It looks like another fight gonna start here. Riven is snared up, and Rito is fine.
Yeah, and they forced the Rito's ultimate out right now. So now they really do have tankiness advantage on Mo's side with Leona and Zillion's bomb, or excuse me, Zillion's revive. So Leona can dive in, and even if she does get blown up, you could put a revive on her. You can have Kai'Sa go in and get a revive, because they don't have a tanky frontliner right now for Rated R.
What else you don't have is a way to stop the teleport from Mowgli the cat. Right now, he is able to split. Teleport is going to be able to come up from Amende very, very soon, but he also has the Cannon Barrage. He can do so much from across the map, and so Mo's really need to find a way to stop Amende if they're going to go for this play, because he can throw the ultimate, teleport, and then be ready. The Vision War has begun around that Baron Pit, as you pointed out. It is the time to do so.
6,500 behind, so they can't do a straight-up fight against these guys. Kai'Sa's 3-0. She's gonna melt anybody at this point. She's got her 2-item power spike. Hecarim actually did go with Cinderhawk, but he's still, if he gets a full charge up and runs into your backline, he's gonna do a ton of damage to the backliner. So you definitely have to keep him off of your backline. You're gonna have to just peel this team off and fight back. Is the only way to fight against him at this point. Because if Hecarim can just get into the backline, and which he can normally fairly easy anyway, but Alistar can knock him back, especially before he ults or after he has possibility of it. But they're just gonna have to play this really smart right now because they're at a really big disadvantage at this point in time in the game on just a straight up team fight.
I think in addition to that, we can see again that 7,000 gold difference here. You can see where that is. It's across all lanes pretty much. Our guys haven't been farming quite as well. Rito's gonna get a nice knockback and a stun, but he is engaged upon. He has to ult, and he's just gonna be stuck there. A good root from Jhin means he doesn't die, but again,
he saved the flash too. So that is good. So he does have the ability to flash into their backline and knock somebody away if need be, or flash out still.
It's getting really tense here. This is the most exciting League of Legends can be, ladies and gentlemen. It may not seem like it because not a lot's happening, but there is a lot happening. Because they're setting up for this next Drake that's coming up. It's an Infernal. If they have double Infernal, double Mountain, that means that Baron will not last 10 seconds, especially with the ability Kai'Sa has to take objectives that way. And so it's all riding on decision-making here, on vision like we talked about earlier. And Rated R knows it. Look at them setting up here around the Drake. 5 seconds and it spawns.
They're right on awards, so they know exactly where Rated R is at. And when Kai'Sa gets that Rage Blade built up, that's when she really starts to shred targets that she's attacking. If she just is able to sustain that Rage Blade damage, it just does so much extra on her passive, just stacking it up.
The Drake has been started and pulled out of the pit. This is the time that they need to fight. Mono does have his teleport available. That's the ultimate from Jhin. The curtain call, it does not stop it. Fourth shot will deal an eighth of Hecarim's hit points, but here's the engage. I think Washed Up Ribbon wants to go in. He gets rooted. Damage going to go down onto him. A lot of it with the Gangplank ultimate. The re-engage here from Mouse. Washed Up Ribbon goes down, but he's resurrected from the ultimate by Zillion, and they come back up. He gets a 1-for-1 trade, with the Guardian Angel as well, he's able to just keep on fighting. He does eventually go down. But the re-engage on the top side. One Bear is able to stop that. Shutdown goal going over to Sol Dante. Moses, the next target, he is going to die as well. And Rated R is still in this fight. He flashes forward. The pop. One Bear gets him, and he gets the kill. Rated R get a 4-for-2 trade.
That is Baron if they go to it right now, but I don't think they will. I think they'll end up just pushing towers up and getting some of these down.
For sure, that's the better play. It's the less risky. You still have 15 seconds to push this other lane here. I think you do it. You take this turret and you back off. You get your gold and get your items. It's much safer. Amende under the turret. He makes it out with minimal hit points. Let's take a look there. 25.
Oh my, MVP.
Super low. Woo! And the Grand Skyfall comes in. Watch the Ribbon flashes forward and picks up the kill on Dante. They may have stayed. They didn't even get the turret.
No, they did not, and they probably just gave up Baron.
Yeah. One Bear is gonna make it out alive, but only barely. Haha.
They did get the turret. Minions did their job and took the turret, but they're gonna lose the Baron for this.
Definitely. Look how fast it goes down. They don't even need the smite. They've pushed One Bear away. They have this double mountain. They have Kaisa. They're going to have to try though. Look at the damage immediately down onto Washed Up Riven. Rito and Mono are doing the best they can. Yet another Zillion ult keeps Riven alive. Mouse is going to go down here, but the rest of Mouse clean up the fight, and suddenly we're right back, but in the opposite position. A 1-for-4 trade. One Bear, not where you want to go in, my friend. He knocks them away, trying to get to his turret. Jin is there with the curtain call, but does he have the damage? 2, 3 shots. Will the fourth do what it needs to? Just about, but Riven does survive.
Oh, the timers. They can't finish right now as long as Jin doesn't get killed. They'll have people up in time, and they're all super low. So Jin's at a point he could definitely kill some of the people, below a quarter of their health pretty easy. He's a lot burstier than your standard ADCs, so you don't want to take that chance and give Jin more kills, because the way he stacks off his passive, the damage, his late game, he does a ton of burst damage.
Right. It's hard because I think that they did the right play. I think they just stayed a tad too long. The moment you see Pantheon alive, you've got to move.
Yeah, they should have taken the second one as soon as Zillion landed those was there to defend and landed bombs and cleared the wave. It's just time to leave at that point.
Right. And then, they had the advantage at that point on the map. They had 4 members. Speaking of advantages here, Washed Up Riven finds Rito in the jungle. He is really tanky. One Bear wants to go in on the Mowgli. Fight is split. Rito is going to go down here, but what is happening on the other side? It looks like an ult from not having a bad day. Jin actually goes down. Mowgli the cat picking that one up. Mono unable to do much. The barrel's not critting quite so dangerously yet, and another fight goes the way of most.
Yeah, Gangplank hasn't got his Infinity Edge yet or any type of armor pen at this point, so he's behind some of the other players who's only sitting on 2 items, so he doesn't quite have that burst damage that you see a late game Gangplank get to. He needs another item or so, and you'll really start to see the damage coming through. Plus, a couple more levels.
Interesting itemization, wise itemization, I guess we need to say, because we see the Spirit Visage and the Mob Malmortius there on the side of Moze, in addition to the Locket of the Iron Solari. That's a lot of magic resistance on a few very important members of their team, trying to stop Vladimir. Mono is doing that damage. You can see that death cap with the Proto Belt. He's doing a lot in these fights once he gets in.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, scaling is on their side. I've said it over and over, but they've got to allow themselves to scale. They're fighting some of these fights a little too hard for how behind they are. I like that they're not afraid of the other team. A lot of teams will play scared, but you have to, if you're gonna fight against a Fed team, you have to make sure the fight is totally in your favor.
Speaking of the fight, it looks to be split here.
Leona just kind of
traded.
wasted her ultimate.
Yeah,
it's actually a big tool to be down.
They could have engaged there, though. If she had landed it, that was definitely a fight that Moz wanted to take. Unable to do so, and now it's just going to be this push in the middle lane. They can do it very quickly. Look at the wave clear they're able to throw down.
Zillion's bombs, they definitely have the wave clear advantage. And then Pantheon.
Rito baits him in. Knock up Root. This is definitely going to be a dead, washed up Riven underneath the turret. But that is the Guardian Angel going to keep him alive. A nice knock away to try and keep them there. But Zillion ult. He is still not dead. And look at how many hit points he gets back. One Bear is trying to do the best he can. Not having a bad day. Jumps in. He's trying to go underneath the turret. They get not having a good day. Another kill. Mono flashes in. Deals all the damage. Look at double. He's going super, super low. The pop from the ultimate should be able to do a little bit. They pop some flashes, but they cannot get rid of washed up Riven.
What is this? This is like playing Mario Brothers and you've got like 12 lives to beat a level.
Oh, that was incredible. What?
The amount of lives, just over and over and over and over, and he keeps standing back up. Like, how do you kill this guy when he has a Guardian Angel and a Zillion? Like, he has 3 lives technically.
He is going to be back down to 2 because Guardian Angel has that long respawn or cooldown on it. But, you know, look at the confidence there. And I think that's what One Bear was doing with the ultimate, trying to get Zillion away. He didn't want Mouse, of course, to come in and re-engage the fight underneath that turret. But I think he was trying to get Mowgli out of the way so he could not save the Pantheon a 3rd time.
Pantheon is on his last item. Pantheon is about to do as much damage as he's about to do for the rest of the game.
Right.
Which isn't a bad thing if you keep lasting, because you can see he's having a hard time bursting someone out at this point in time in the game. Even, you know, he goes in and he's having to use multiple rounds of abilities, plus his team's having to, you know, CC.
Oh.
So his burst potential, if he's on his own, isn't as high as it once was, which is a good thing for Rated R, because he can't just wombo combo one of the backliners as easy as he could. I mean, he's given a lot of chances with the Guardian Angel and the Zillion ult to do it. As you saw there, you know, he he walked through everything they had multiple times.
Yeah, underneath a turret. That's the craziest part, is it wasn't just Rated R dealing the damage. He took stacking incremental damage from that turret as well and managed to make it out actually unscathed because of the scaling on Zillion's ultimate, which is overpowered in my opinion. Shouldn't be able to give him full hit points back, but here comes the engage. Mouse one.
Well, at least doesn't give mana. That would be worse.
That's, yeah, you're correct. That would be super bananas. The Vision game is here. They are clearing everything they can on the side of Moz, and Rated R doing the best that they can at this point. Ultimates are available. A few flashes are missing, but an all-out team fight might not be wrong here. Rito is over the side with his team.
Had Rated R not got behind in this game, the way they are playing the fights, it's just because it's not because they're being outskilled by any chance. It's they're being out-itemed is all it is right now. And
Amende going up against Washed Up Riven, dealing a lot of damage, pops his Guardian Angel, but the re-engage is up on the top side, not having a bad day, going right onto Mono, keeping him out of the fight so he can't do anything. Amende Honorable against Washed Up Riven, it's very close, but Riven picks up the kills. And Moz, as a team, up on the top side, they're going to get one bear. Mono has the pool. He's going to deal a little bit of damage jumping out there. He gets a tiny bit of healing, but he's ignited. Not going to be able to survive there. Double B on the bottom side gets Rito, and not having a bad day. Is having a great day. 7-3-12 on the Hecarim. And Moz can now take this Baron if they want, but it doesn't look like they do. They want the inhibitor instead.
It was a really messy fight. I mean, what did they have? One in the mid lane. They had almost 2 fights going in the jungle and one in the river. You know, it was all over the place.
Yeah, it was. Cooldowns in favor of Moz. In fact, they are going to take these turrets. There is nothing that Jin can do, especially with a flash W from Washed Up Riven. There's the ace, and the other Nexus turret goes down. The fight going to come in here. One bear is going to get stunned, and the first game goes to Moz Gabar.
Wow, that was It seemed like there were more kills in that game to me. I was expecting to look up and see like 30 and 50 kills.
It did feel like there were a lot. But so here's the thing. I think that, like you were saying, it was a matter of gold that game. The items were really speaking for Moe's there. They were able to get those items which give their stats and everything like that, and they came out ahead. Rated R had scaling. They had team fight ability for sure, but they weren't able to execute because they got a little too far behind early on, probably starting with that first blood on the bottom side.
Yeah, and then Pantheon just was allowed to do it. He just did what he did mid game. I should say, not allowed, but he did what he does mid game, and he took over that mid game. And if you were found out, he was gonna chunk you down and kill you most likely.
Well, that is going to do it for game number 1. Don't go anywhere because game number 2 is coming back after the break. We're going to do Pro Draft and get right back in it. Proden and I will be here to bring you that game.